This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Airstrip, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He stuffed at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
What a play! What a kill by Brewstad!
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board! Less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs!
And now, on to the game.
Welcome back here to the WCC semifinal matchup. This is the first of two of the semi matchup of the men's side bracket. Josiah Frank, I'm with Davis Hagen. We've got Oregon State, we've got Gonzaga, and we're going to have a fun one here tonight. Orleans Arena in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Wanted to talk about these fourth seed Oregon State Beaver teams. It's been pretty chalked up on the men's side and on the women's side. And we've got a number 4 versus a number 1. This Oregon State team, they had a very narrow win against the San Francisco Dons team. That was a very good team, and unfortunately just cannot get it done. Oregon State prevailed. Head coach Wayne Tinkle, this is his last year at Oregon State. He had been there for over a decade and trying to get anything going for this Oregon State team. And there is a little toss-up of the starting lineup. The starting lineup had Jonah Munch starting, but there is Yak, the 6'11", 230-pound Australian, is going to start in his place to handle the height, the strength, and the athleticism of the Gonzaga Bulldogs team.
Yeah, Yak was good off the bench for Oregon State yesterday. He had 7 points in just 9 minutes. He also made a three-pointer, and he's a guy that definitely gives them a little more range on defensive passing lanes. He's 6'11". He's got a huge wingspan, and I think he gives them more versatility than Munch does. Munch will likely still come off the bench for Oregon State, but now they match up even better with this Gonzaga Bulldogs team. And credit to Wayne Tinkle. It's been an emotional week for Oregon State. He was notified this is his last season with the Beavers, and in the locker room before the game, he was trying to implore to his guys that this is not about him. It's them trying to make a run in this tournament. And in his post-game press conference yesterday, he was explaining that to the media, saying that everything's emotional right now for Oregon State. They're trying to make a run. Everybody knows that Tinkle is out, so he's trying to have one last ride with this crew. He's a guy that's poured his heart and soul into this Corvallis team with the Beavers, made an Elite Eight with this squad. And this team this year, the 4 seed, after going 9-9 in conference, picked up the 78-77 win against a very good Dons team. And now they have an uphill battle against the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It's going to be a good showdown. A really challenging day, though, because Gonzaga, this is their league and everybody else is living in it.
Yeah, and they made a phenomenal run, that Elite Eight run back in 2020 to 2021. But right now they have an uphill battle indeed. And not only do they have to face the Gonzaga fans, the Zags onto the court, they got to face all of these fans. We've been seeing it since we came in on Friday, or really Thursday night. But we've seen nothing but navy, nothing but blue, nothing but red, nothing but white, and all of it mentioning the Zags, the Bulldogs in Spokane. And it feels like we're in the 509 right now. Spokane is filling this arena up. There's a student section that's already taken up an entire section of the Orleans Arena. His Zags seems as talented. That's nothing new for Mark Few and the Gonzaga crew. But what do the Zags team have to do if they want to handle business for Oregon State?
It's going to be, as usual, for the Bulldogs in the semifinals, getting the automatic bye to just have to win 2 games. This is not unfamiliar territory at all. This is what the Gonzaga fans live for. This is what the players and Mark Few live for. This is their 20th of a title in the West Coast Conference. This year they split it with St. Mary's. And going back all the way to when Mark Few first got here, they've won 25 of 29 regular season titles, going back all the way to 1997-98. And the Bulldogs are just ridiculously good year in and year out, and they have never lost an opening round game in Las Vegas. They've won all 17, and the Beavers have a huge task ahead of them if they want to upset Gonzaga. It is possible, though, this year. They've lost 3 games, one of them being to the Portland Pilots, which was a crazy upset earlier in February. But Gonzaga, man, they control the pace. They control everything in the game. They're the 12th ranked team in Ken Palm. a top 25 team in the AP and a projected 4 seed. They're so tough to handle, and they're led by Graham Ike, the WCC Player of the Year. He's been legit, averaging 19.7 points a game and 8 rebounds, and he is just getting better and better in his career. The Wyoming transfer just never ceases to amaze with how good he can be.
Yeah, he's definitely been too legit to quit. This Gonzaga team has been great as usual. It's normal in Spokane. They're used to winning, and they're used to winning here in Las Vegas. They're used to cutting down the nets, putting another banner into the rafters, or really just another year, because this is so normal for them winning. We're going to go over these starting lineups as we get ready for the tip. So with the Gonzaga Bulldogs, 28-3 overall record, 16-2 in conference. Starting guard, we have junior forward Emmanuel Innocenti coming from the Ivory Coast. He's going to play forward. Tyron Grant Foster, he's going to be the grad student from Kansas City. Jalen Worley from Philly. Graham Ike from Aurora, Colorado. And then finishing off Adam Miller. And then for the Beavers, a little bit of a mix for their lineup. It's going to be Lake, Yak instead of Munch. C, Diaz Graham, and Suutela finishing out for Oregon State. Oregon State and Gonzaga, we should have a fun one. This place is rocking.
Beavers also elect to not have Suutela in their starting lineup for Des White, who is lethal from the three-point line.
And a lot of changes for Oregon State. They got to pull out all the tricks out of the bag if they want to beat this really good Zags team. OSU to win the tip. They're in their all black with the orange lettering, the Zags in the white with their navy trim. Nearly stolen away, but Diaz Graham makes something happen. There's just 5 on the shot clock for Oregon State. A bad first possession. Yak throws up a 3-ball. Tar, no good. A great rebound by Adam Miller. And the Zags are running. Miller pulls it out beyond the wing, enters it into Ike. WCC Player of the Year. Big man in the post. Double team. Throws it to no one. Past the Gatorade coolers behind the Oregon State bench. And we're still tied at zeros as we are nearing the first minute mark. 19-14 left to play in this first half.
Oregon State yesterday did not score through the first couple minutes of the game. We went to the first media timeout around 5 minutes through, and they still had 0 points yet. They were able to score 78 yesterday against San Francisco.
Lake trying to work. Nearly double teamed. Now ends up giving it to C. C enters it into Yak. Left block in the post, guarded by Big Ike. Yak fadeaway jumper, too strong. Fight for the rebound, and there's going to be a whistle. And it's going to stay with the Bees. And Innocenti picks up the first foul of the game. Still at 0-0. Gonzaga, Oregon State turn to play in the championship tomorrow. Diaz Graham gets the inbound, quick handoff over to Des White. Des White now pulls up, triple. That's going to be too strong. And there's a foul going the other way. And that's going to be on Yak. Oregon State Beavers first personal as a team. Early to inbound. Gives it up to St. Superi. Zach. Worley. Quick handoffs. Just a toss of handoffs for the Zags. And the ball looked to be batted away. Miscommunication. That's a turnover for Gonzaga. Oregon State's going to end up with it.
One of the challenges for Oregon State is they're dealing with the band on the near side and the student section on the far side and a whole swarm of Gonzaga fans. It is hostile territory here in Vegas.
There is almost no orange in this arena. White to Yak, 10 on the shot clock. They can't even get past the perimeter. Finally, Josiah Lake throws up a 3, but that one's going to be too strong. We're still at zeros. We're under 2 minutes already into this first half. Worley, big 3, still scoreless. Lake on the other end for the Bees. It's popped out. St. Superi's going to end up with it. Coast to coast for the Zags. Who can finish? And an and one for St. Superi as he finishes and falls right into the Oregon State cheerleaders' laps. And he will shoot a and one free throw, and he puts in the first points pride of the team of the game. It looks like him and the Oregon State cheerleaders are kind of laughing about it. Kind of little stumble, and he'll have a chance to shoot one free throw.
Sen Superi, one of the best players I've seen this season in college basketball, always under control.
St. Superi misses the free throw. We'll stay at 2-0 Gonzaga. We're early. Oregon State has got to keep it close. This is a very talented Gonzaga team as usual. A lot of returners for Mark Few's crew. It's going to be C. Tries to drive right at the rack and misses the layup. That one has to be a gimme, but it's nearly stolen away. But Gonzaga's going to get a hold of it. St. Superi now on the right wing. Motioning out. Looking to Ike. Will give it to Ike. He's far right corner, nearly at the arc. St. Superi, a heave to Innocenti. Straight on, triple, in and out. That thing swirled like a soft serve ice cream cone and kind of slipped out of there. We're still at 2-0 Gonzaga. Oregon State's got to capitalize on Gonzaga not scoring a ton early. 16:41 to play in this first. Lake, 10 on the shot clock. Somebody's got to get something going. Finally, Yak now on the perimeter, fadeaway jumper, and that's up short as well. Superi with the rebound. Superi, another entry to Graham Ike. The big man will finish with the left hand on the left side. 4-0 Gonzaga, and the fans are happy about that. They love him in Spokane. They love him in the kennel, and they love him here in New Orleans. Now it's Josiah Lake II. Directing, motioning, crossover, step back three, and again, too strong. Oregon State right now 0 of 7 from the field. Superi, a three ball. The crowd was ready to blow up. He misses that. Lake, the board. Lake now past the division line for the Beavs. Looking to pass. Ends up handing it off to White. Gives it to Yak, who sets a screen for White. Ended up handing off to him. Yak now wide open, straight on. That's going to be no good. And again, they cannot connect. A shot has got to fall for Oregon State. Again, they are scoreless. And it's going to be Worley on the other end. He's going to be fouled, and he will go to the line and shoot true. And nearly identical situation to last game. Oregon State not being able to shoot the basketball.
2 days in a row, they start with a 0 on the scoreboard going to the first media timeout. 0 of 8 for Oregon State, and they've tried 5 threes. Got to drive to the basket if you're the Beavers, but they're still only down 4. And so once again, Josiah, we've got a low-scoring affair. And similar to their women's, they started 0 for 8 before they started to pick things up. But playing the first 4.5 minutes and 0 points in the second straight day, that is not a recipe for success against a Gonzaga team that will blow you out of the water if you're not careful. They're the best offensive team in the WCC, averaging 86 points a game.
Yeah, they're definitely the best offensive team in the WCC by far. And so if Oregon State wants to keep it close, they got to keep it close, and they need to keep it close quick. We're going to take a short break as this place is rocking. You are listening to more WCC semifinal action here in Las Vegas, Nevada, here on KGR. speckled of orange, and there's nothing but navy, white, and red across this arena. This place is rocking for the Bulldogs right now. They're up just a little bit. It's 4-0 early. Oregon State cannot connect by scoring the ball into the basket. It's been a problem yesterday, a problem today. They're getting deja vu as Worley's at the free throw line, ready to shoot two. The Philadelphia native spent 3 seasons at Florida State before transferring to Gonzaga. And he's been a contributor and a starter. 6'7". Worley taking his time on his free throw form. Doesn't matter though. It will go home as he extends the Gonzaga lead. It's a 5-0 early lead for the Bulldogs. 15:24 left to play in this first half. The seconds up and through again.
Substitution for the Zags. Number 7, Tyler Grant Foster.
And then Grant Foster is going to check back into the game. Grant Foster from Kansas City, Kansas. They're 2 different places, Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. He's from the Kansas side. Checking back into the game for the Zags. Oregon State, they got to click, and they got to click now. 6-0 lead for Gonzaga. This is a team that can kill you if you let them. White, hounded by Innocenti. Thrown over to C, in and out. Fight for the board. Yes, Graham grabbed it. Now White will put for the midi. You bet. Finally, Oregon State getting onto the board. Now they're just down by 4. Innocenti, St. Superi. St. Superi at the WCC logo in the middle for Gonzaga. Grant Foster over to EK. EK now. Long jumper. Not usually his shot, but he can make it. He's definitely worked on that component of his game. But that one will fall out. Gonzaga still up by 4. 14-18 left into this first half. Lake, so much pressure. They cannot get anything going. It's going to be White that throws up a heave of a 3, but a good rebound by Amenhauser, who gets stripped on the putback. A good offensive board by him. It's going to stay with Oregon State.
Substitution for the Zags, number 4.
It's going to be Davis Fogle. Davis, you know how I feel about the local guys, and it just makes it even better that his name is also Davis. Also spelled the same, Davis. Davis Fogle, not Davis Hagen. He's from Anacortes, Washington. Spent 3 years there. That's just on Whidbey Island off of the Western Washington, off of Skagit County. But here is C. He misses for a corner 3. It's going to go the other direction as there's going to be a foul, and I believe it's on.
37.
That one's going to be on Sulatella. Another foul for the Bees. Yeah, Fogle, one of these freshmen for Gonzaga. It's hard to play as a freshman anywhere, but especially at Gonzaga and get valuable minutes. He's definitely done that. Fogle looking to pass. Tended to EK. He's fouled. It's going to be a push. That one should be on. That one's going to be on Amenhauser. Man, Oregon State racking up early. They're already at 5 fouls. Still 13:48 to play in this first half. Inbounded past midpoint line to St. Superi. Finds Innocenti to Ike in post. Fade away. He's going to fall out. Good rebound by C. C had Amenhauser running, but didn't look at him. Quick handoff. Over to Akezi. Akezi nearly turns over the basketball, and he does. St. Superi had it, and then he turns over the basketball. Trying to get a hold of it, and it looked like it bounced off his knee or hip, and it went right over to the ESPN media table. We were kind of over there for a long time. Not over there anymore, but that's okay. But went over there, and then Oregon State is going to end up getting it back. 6-2 early. Both teams just not scoring the basketball a ton. Nothing unfamiliar, and a beautiful layup by Josiah Lake. That's another good name. Finishes as no one was there. And now Oregon State all of a sudden now just down by 2. Ike entered it in, and that's Inocenti for the easy lay. Ike had good connection to his fellow teammate. Going to make it an 8-4 game. Lake try to enter it in. Just Utella. It's going to stay with the Beavs as Lake will inbound. Yeah, Wayne Tinkle. Man, it would be amazing if Oregon State could beat Gonzaga in this game. Move on to play either St. Mary's or Santa Clara tomorrow evening. It will not be at 8:30 or it will not be at 6 o'clock. We'll be playing a lot earlier. Amenhauser with Ike, and Ike slaps the basketball out of his hand. So strong, and the Spoken Knights are on their feet. And that was Amenhauser. He got the ball batted out of his hand, battling with Ike. It falls off his foot. A turnover for Oregon State. Now Fogle will inbound for Gonzaga. Braden Smith, the Seattleite, checking into the game. Another local guy. Smith over to Inocenti, enters it into Ike, spin move with the left hand. Oh, yeah. Graham Ike. He's the poster child for the Zags. They're up 10-4. We're nearing the 12-minute mark of the first half. Couple of handoffs, Suatella ends up with it on the wing. He's going to jab step and go right to the rack. Tries to reverse layup, and he is swatted away. Fogle now for the Zags on the other end. Pushing the tempo. Intended pass to Ike. It's stolen away by C. Swung around the arc for Oregon State. Again, hard for them to get anything going. Gonzaga's defense just hounding. Amenhauser again on Ike. 7-footer on the 6'10 Ike. And that time, it's going to be Amenhauser as he finishes. Great job by Amenhauser. Cuts the lead down to 2. Ike over to Fogle. He had a shot, and he stepped right out of bounds. Probably should have shot it. And that's going to give us a media timeout. We have a 10-6 ball game. Gonzaga still up early. You're going to be listening to more basketball. The Zags and the Beavs here on KGR, the student voice of the Blues. Welcome back right now to a 10-6 ball game. 11:15 left in this first half. The Gonzaga Bulldogs, the #1 seed here in the WCC, are leading the Oregon State Beavers by 4. Right now, Oregon State got to get something going. They're just down by 4, and it's stolen away by Fogle. Nearly an and one opportunity, but Davis Fogle seals the basketball. That's a turnover by the Bees as they were in the basketball after that media timeout. That's the last thing you want to see if Oregon State's going to try to make a shot at this thing.
And that's always most frustrating for coaches when you come out of a timeout and then you immediately make a mistake and put Fogle to the free throw line.
Fogle connects on the first. Now Gonzaga's up to 11 points to a Oregon State 6. The freshman, his second, also connects. 11:09 to play in the first half. 12-6. Gonzaga up by 6. They got to get something going. Man, press by Mark Few's Bulldogs. And that is a 10-second violation. You don't see that a lot, especially at the Division I level. The press so good that they can't even cross the division line at half court.
Yeah, Tinkle immediately signaled for Akisi to come out, and he's talking to him, telling him you got to be aware, and you cannot keep giving Gonzaga these chances. Oregon 3 of 15, yet they're only down 6, but at some point Gonzaga's going to heat up, and you better catch them.
Gonzaga does this in their sleep. That's going to be Miller. Gives it right back over to Innocenti. Not about passing, pulls it back behind the arc. They only got 4 on the shot clock. Somebody's got to shoot, and it's going to be a 3-ball and a make by Braden Smith. You can hear this place is rocking. Tons of people, all of them Spokanites. And a miss for Oregon State. That was Utella. And then a finish on the other end for Braden Smith, and a timeout by Tinkle and the crew. A phenomenal performance. Nothing out of the unusual Mark Few and Gonzaga. And right now they are up 11 against Oregon State, and they've got to turn things around.
Yeah, Gonzaga on a 7-0 run over the last 49 seconds. And these are the kind of things you can't do if you're Oregon State, just giving Gonzaga the chance. And even though that wasn't necessarily a turnover, just a wildly missed shot from Su'utela, forced it. And you know, if you don't get back in time, if you're those top guards for Oregon State, you can't be watching the ball get rebounded by Grant Foster and then outletted. You got to be moving your way back down on the defensive side, because if you're slow, even maybe a step or two slow, Gonzaga's going to beat you down the floor.
Absolutely going to be down the floor. Right now, Oregon State is more than just flustered. Finally, Lake beating the press. Just getting across half court. Lake. Anderson into Amenhauser. He's right off, a couple feet off the elbow on the left side. Gives it right back over to Lake, sets the screen. He's double teamed. And Lake gets the ball stripped away from him. EK now, spin move by the big man. Enter to Smith. Not about a 3-ball. That was Miller. Miller enters it in, and that's Graham EK on the sky hook. 19-6. Oregon State nearly turning over the basketball again. It could get scary. That's White. Oregon State's got to get something going on. Quick hand out back to Lake. Amenhauser's open. Doesn't look at him. Now it's too late. He's guarded by EK. Now Amenhauser and EK. Amenhauser's got the rock. 3 on the shot clock. He's got to shoot. Way too strong. Misses everything. And there's a foul.
Shot clock violation, substitution.
Shot clock violation. As Grant Foster, I don't know why, but he threw the ball like from half court right at the hoop. Got to be careful about stuff like that. That's how you get teed up. Something stupid if you say something under your breath. And you can tell the official is talking to the head coach, Mark Few. You know, got to be careful about things like that, as it was a great defensive stop for that team. They're up 19-6. Oregon State struggling. We're past the midway point of this first half. 9:04 and ticking. Grant Foster finishes. Drove right to the rack on the right side. Tough finish for him, but he made it look really easy, especially with those sparkly shoes that he's got on. Lake now for OSU. Lake, quick handoff, and that was right over to Munch, who's finally seeing a little bit of time. A great little dish off to him to finish for the lay. Oregon State finally connecting on basket. 21-8, 8:25 left on the first. Grant Foster top of the key, looking for a screen by Ike. Will use the pick. Let's see if he gives it to him on the roll. He will. Ike the finish, and it's good. Graham Ike has 8 early. He's 4 of 6 from the field. And Ike's got a lot of them for Gonzaga. They're up 23-8, Oregon State. And oh my goodness, a huge block, or I think they're going to call it a foul. But Josiah Lake II drove right to the rack, and it looked like he was either trying to punch it in for a dunk or trying to finish tough, but he came to the ground pretty hard. I don't know if you saw that a little better than I did.
Ike got a lot of body on that foul, and officials are talking to him. He came down very hard. I'm a little surprised you're not looking at it, but it was within reasonable range of where the ball was. He just hit him really hard.
A super hard foul as Lake crashed to the wood. The first free throw, nothing but nylon. Yeah, you got to be careful about that. Ike, super strong. Graham Ike, standing at 6'9", 205 pounds. And it's all muscle. Josiah Lake just 175, and that 30-pound difference means a lot as the second free throw's up and good. OSU finally did double digits. They're still down by 13 as we hit the 8-minute marker in the first half. Smith pulling out the rock, looking to enter into somewhere as it just swung around the arc. Now he's going to take a 3-ball. That one's going to fall out, but an offensive rebound by Fogel. The putback no good. It's blocked. Gets his other rebound. That putback is also no good. And rebound by OSU. Fogel, though, fighting on the racks. Looking to kick out, and it's stolen away. A turnover, and we'll see if it's a dunk. Just a layup. Beautiful finish. That was Adam Miller from Peoria, Illinois. Gonzaga up by 15. It's a 25-10 game. Samar checked into the game. This is going to be Grant Foster, 3. Excuse me. That was Diaz Graham. Pulled up for the corner 3. Cutting the lead down to 12. Under 7 minutes to play in the first half. Fogel, step through move. Ends up handing it over to Ike. And he cannot finish. It's going to be Oregon State on the other end. Lake, right over to Warley. Looking to hand off. Ends up giving it over to Diaz Graham. Just hit a triple a second ago. Diaz Graham going to the rack. Too strong. He had an open Munch, but decided to drive to the lane. He can't finish. Now it's Gonzaga on the other end. Vogel had an open 3. Gives it to Ike inside in the post. Spin move and the finish. And it looks like he maybe would have picked up that foot, but there's not a travel called. Ike finishes with the left hand with ease. 27-13. Gonzaga leading. Oregon State trying to find something. Lake enters it in to Munch. Now finds White on the wing, 10 on the shot clock. White has he moved and finishes with the lay. A pretty lay for him. Nearly blocked by Ike. Now it's the Zags on the other end. Ike, triple? No. And everybody got excited for that one. You don't see him usually that far out. He'll do a lot of middies. He'll try the fadeaways off the post. Not usually for an open 3-ball transition. Now this is White on the other end. And it's a miss. It's batted away into the hands of Fogel. Fogel now coast to coast. That finish is too strong. A good rebound by Munch. Diaz Graham now trying to go to the rack. It's punched out. by Ike, and we're going to go to immediate timeout. 5:13 to play, 27-15. Still a good one, but Oregon State's got to find something if they want to keep hope alive, which has been the motto for a lot of these teams. You're listening to more WCC semifinal action here on KGR, the student voice of the Palouse. It's a 27-15 game, 5:13 left to play in this semifinal matchup of the West Coast Conference here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Josiah Frank with Davis Hagen. We've had a lot of fun basketball has been watched, and this is probably one of the most entertaining ones that we've seen since Friday. It's Monday, right? It is Monday, and we've had a fun time. We've watched so much good basketball that the days kind of mold into each other. It's been basketball, a lot of hoops. And right now, Gonzaga is hooping the Oregon State Beaver team 27-15. They're up by 12.
Yeah, this is game 15 for us, so we've been watching a lot of basketball, and this Oregon State performance is not out of the ordinary because they've only got 15 points. They're shooting 10% from the three-point line, but yet only down 12 against the Bulldogs.
I did not know that was game 15. Well, we've been having tons of fun. 15 or 1,500. We'll do it all for KUGR. Lake now for the Beavs. Trying to get something going. They're 7 on the shot clock. He's going to go right to the rack. Ooh, a tough finish, but he's going to get fouled. Trying to finish the lay. He kind of went up and then under. Try to go through, but he is hit onto the wood. He'll be shooting 2.
Yeah, other than the fact that Oregon State has struggled to score from beyond the arc, and really in general, they've only made 6 field goals, one of them being a 3, but the crowd factor is definitely an impact in this game. It's probably 99% Bulldog fans with maybe 25 Oregon State fans. And the difference, you can definitely hear it. That free throw that just got made, there was maybe 2 claps, maybe a golf clap. And when Gonzaga makes a basket, this place is just about ready to explode on every single layup.
Yeah, I mean, and 25 might be generous. And that's if you include the band, the cheerleaders, and the basketball bench. And the second free throw is unfortunately missed. Lake made the first one, though, 27-16. They're down by 11. They gotta keep it close. Worley, quick handoff. That's over to Miller. Miller now crossover move right to the left side of the rack. He dumps it off. That was to Diani. Diani coming in for the big man. Ike cannot finish for the Zags. Oregon State's going to bring it to Rock. Top of the keys, Yak. Entered into Diaz Graham, who has to find Lake. who has to find for a 3-ball, and that is Samar. Samar, who didn't see a ton of action yesterday. Now he's connecting for a triple. I believe that is the first made 3, second made 3 for Oregon State. Been barely able to connect. First one in a while. Now Smith. Braden Smith on top of the key, looking for a screen. Adiani doesn't use it. Gets a handoff to him, gets it right back. Who's going to end up with it? It's a 3-ball straight on. And that's Braden Smith. Or excuse me, that was Adam Miller for 3. Straight on, straight as an arrow. Now Gonzaga is up by 11. 30-19. 3:30 to play in the first half. No look Don over to Samar. That 3 goes too strong. Worley for the alley. A finish. Worley. Beautiful pass. Adam Miller to Worley in the air as Worley was able to finish it easily. Break. This place is bumping. You're listening to more the student voice of the Palouse. Welcome right back at you. A 32-19 game. The Gonzaga Bulldogs leading the Oregon State Beavers by 13. 3:19 left to play into this first half. And you're waiting to take on the crew. Your season could slip away if you continue to let Gonzaga wallop on you. You have a 13-point lead, but it seems like more. Open passes in transition, Open passes in transition has been the issue, as well as turnovers and not been able to score the basket. They're still under 20 as we are nearing halftime. It's not the number you want to see. If you're averaging about 20 points a half, you do not want to score 40 at the end of the game. As extremely low scoring, especially for Division I basketball.
Yeah, and Oregon State, they've struggled this season, 71.4 points per game, which is last in the conference. They're going up against the Bulldogs, who score about 15 more per game than them, and they're top of the conference. And the thing that makes Gonzaga great, even though they're only up by 13 at this point, they play so consistently, almost a pro style where you have role players and then your superstars. You've got Sen Superi and Ike, who are your superstars, and then everybody else kind of fills in, and somebody else like a Worley or a Miller could have a great game, and all of a sudden you're beating teams by 25 to 30 because nobody can stop all 5 of your players.
Nobody can stop Gonzaga. Indeed, they're just the gift that keeps on giving for the Spoken Knights. OSU trying to make something happen for the poor fans back in Corvallis. There's maybe 5 here. They're outnumbered. Lake, Anderson in. Diaz Graham, who is fouled. Gonna be a push. Will stay with the Beavs. Gonzaga,
Next foul, number
it's their
7,
fourth
Tyler
team
Grant
foul.
Foster. His
OSU
first.
has 16. Their next foul is going to result into bonus free throws for Gonzaga, but right now Gonzaga just has 4. We'll see what the Bees right now. That's going to be inbound. Gives it up to Lake, looking for C. C driving, picks up his dribble. He's got a fader, kick it out, and loses the basketball. It's a fight for it. Everyone's on the deck for the loose ball. Who ends up with it is St. Super. He's swinging elbows. Swinging elbows, and they're going to call it a jump ball. They're going to call that a jump ball. It looks like he was rolling on the floor. I think that should have been a travel. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I agree. He was wrong, and I think he almost stood up with the ball, and he never dribbled it. And he was swinging elbows. That's a crazy scenario right at midcourt. And I know the Oregon Studio broadcaster, Mike Parker, he was using his elbows, talking to his community to try and implore them that it should have been either a travel or a foul. And Super yet jump ball for the Zags.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. A missed call maybe for the official as Innocenti will turn over the basketball. Ball don't lie. Lake now in transition after that turnover by the Zags. Pulls it back out, picked up his dribble. Gets it back now, straight on. Kicks it back out and ends up with Yak in the post, guard by Ike. The jump hook no good. And it's going to be a foul, I believe, on Yak. It looks like he was kind of poked in the eye, poking in the face. He's grabbing something. It's going to be on Grant. Nope. It's going to be on Fogle. Going to result, it was Diaz Graham that actually got fouled. Just kind of looked like Yak was holding his face. They were both kind of battling down there. Diaz Graham's got big free throws. This place is loud. The first is through Innocenti to check in for Grant Foster.
Number 5, Emmanuel Innocenti.
And it looks like Amenhauser will come in for Yak. Diaz Graham, another big free throw. This is definitely the most packed we've seen it for Orleans Arena. The second also falls through. And now Oregon State still down by 11. We're nearing the 2-minute mark of the first half. St. Superi to Fogle, just playing ping pong. Now Fogle will stop and give it to Innocenti this time. Finds St. Superi who thought about a shot. And now Miller will end up with it. Entering into Ike, the short jumper. Oh, yeah. Beautiful finish by Ike. He's in double digits. Lake, mano-a-mano with Innocenti. Looking to pass it out. We'll give it to Diaz Graham. Now driving, loses the basketball. A turnover, but it's a fight for it. It's loose, long, but it gets back up again by Diaz Graham. Now over to Lake, the mid-jumper. He can't get that one a fall. That was a wide-open shot. Would have loved for him to hit that. Doesn't matter, though. The Zags are going to get it back and have another offensive opportunity. Ike right at the rack. Thought about catching a body. Can't finish with the right hand. A fight for the rebound. It's going to be a foul. And Ike visibly super upset because he knows he probably could have punched that and dunked it home. Probably even caught a ball. Tried to finish it with a finger roll kind of last minute and then missed that leg. Gonzaga, they're going to be shooting free throws because they are in 1-on-1. Oregon State's at 7 total team fouls. And it's going to be St. Superi to shoot the 1-on-1. First. Absolutely. St. Superi, the Spaniard, was on a FIBA U16 European National Championship team. Some phenomenal players coming from the Euro leagues, as the second one also will fall. Lake's got to get something going. We're nearing the minute mark. He's double teamed and hounded. He's swinging elbows too. Excuse me. excuse me, that was Ekesi who ends up giving it to Lake. Ends up in the hands of Lake. A little bit less pressure. Amenhauser to Diaz-Graham. There's going to be a foul. We'll see who's it on, and the Zag fans are not happy about it. It's going to be 16 fouls. Oregon State now to enter it in on the baseline. Lake, 59.9 seconds left. Gonzaga up 36-21. They're up by 15. First half is almost over. Ekesi looking for Lake. Nearly loses it, but gets a hold of it. He's got 10 on the shot clock. He's guarded by St. Superi. Tries to spin. Gets a screen by Amenhauser. Ends up giving it to C. 3-ball. No good, but a great rebound by Amenhauser, the 7-footer. He's looking to hand it out. Gives it back to C. Now 13 on the shot clock. 22 on the game clock. Nearly lost. Now 8 on the shot clock. A heave of a shot. And to silence the crowd is Josiah Lake. Cuts the lead to 12. And now there's going to be a timeout. And Mark Few and the Bulldog crew are going to be able to chalk something up for the final 10 seconds of the first.
Yeah, they use that use it or lose a timeout. You have 4 to start. You lose 1 at halftime no matter what. Anyway, calling the timeout, 10 seconds left. And a heck of a fight by Oregon State to climb back within a reasonable amount before halftime. They didn't score their first basket until 14:51 on the clock. Now they've got 24 points, and they're slowly working it down. And for Gonzaga, they're still shooting a good percentage. But in this game, they have just gone on some cold spells, while Oregon State's defense has been very solid against Gonzaga. It's just, at this point, if Oregon State can't stop to get consecutive stops and then buckets, if you start trading baskets with Gonzaga, it's going to be tough. But heck of an effort by Oregon State to whittle this thing down to 12.
Has definitely whittled it down to 12, and they got to keep it as close as they can. This Gonzaga team, as talented as it is, they're missing Braden Huff, the redshirt junior who's dealt with injuries and only played 18 games. But in those 18, he averaged 17 and 8. Big loss for Gonzaga. But it seems like even without him, they're almost unstoppable. 4 seconds left. It's going to be Miller nearly at the buzzer, and he's going to score, and that's going to be the last shot of the half. Very poised, very timed. As Miller hits a beautiful bucket to end in a mid-range. And the first half will end at 38-24. Gonzaga on top against Oregon State. And Davis, first half impressions.
That's why Mark Few is a finalist for the Hall of Fame, and he's still coaching. He's one of the best coaches in the entire nation. Calls the time, 10 seconds left, knows that you score a basket here, you bring the momentum with your side into halftime, and now the Bulldogs up 14. Gonzaga's doing a really good job doing what they do. They're just great at what the WCC is all about. Can you challenge Gonzaga? And Oregon State giving them a little run for their money, but still down 14. They fought hard. Can they come out in the second half and play the same way they ended that first half? If they play the way they started this first half, it could get ugly, but I think Oregon State is ready for the fight. It's just going to be a matter of, can they stay close to Gonzaga all the way through?
It's definitely going to be just like that. We're going to be back at the half of this semifinal matchup. This is the first of 2, and then Santa Clara and will be later tonight starting at 8:30 tip. But you're listening to more WC action here on KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gonzaga pumped up the lead to 14 right before the half with an excellent layup. And they have a 38-24 lead as we get ready to start the second half here at Orleans Arena in the first semifinal of the evening. Davis Hagen alongside Josiah Frank, and a championship spot on the line. The Bulldogs doing what they do best, and that is dominating teams in the WCC tournament. Although Oregon State did fight back near the end of that first half to cut it to a 14-point lead, but the Bulldogs have been great. Oregon State struggling to shoot from the perimeter. They're 3 of 14. The Bulldogs shooting 53% from the field as a team, and that is just par for the course with this Bulldogs team.
Definitely definitely off the course indeed. Goodness gracious. We're getting closer and closer to the late times, but we've got some great basketball displayed in state right now. Wayne Tingle, you got to get something going, and you got to pretty quickly because, man, this is the Gonzaga team that doesn't just, put you away or win a basketball game. They're going to slit your throat and really smother you. I mean, they are a very suffocating team. And, that sounds a little scary, but this Gonzaga team is definitely scary. They're going to punch it in your mouth, and you can take it or not. You're going to have to find out.
Oregon State, their leading scorer, Josiah Lake, with 8 points, shooting 2 of 5 from the field, but he made 3 free throws in that first half. And for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, Graham Ike, their leading scorer in the first half, scored 12 points, but Josiah was 6 of 11, so he had almost as many field goal attempts as he did points in that first half. He's just been a volume machine in the first half.
Volume is a perfect way to describe it. I mean, he's been like this, and this is a team that, like I mentioned before, really is smothering. If you can't get a hold of it, it's just going to be another performance that he does on the regular every single night. So somebody's got to get a hold of it quickly.
Bulldogs lead at 38-24. 20 minutes on the clock, and the Beavers dethrone the Zags. These two teams will play in the Pac-12 next year. This is Gonzaga's final year in the WCC after an incredible run throughout the conference, and all the other teams will take a breath of relief that they're going to be out of their conference. But the Beavers, this could be a future tournament opponent for years to come. And the Beavers start with the ball, attacking the left basket, down by 14 as we start the second half. Lake on the perimeter going against Miller. And a swinging White comes to catch it on the left wing, resets the feet, fires up a 3, and misses it short. Yak, offensive rebound, goes back up with it. The put back is good, and Yak's first points of the game come right there. Before that, he was 0 of 5, now 1 of 6. And the Bulldogs lead cut to 12, 38-26, 30 seconds into the second half. Gonzaga in the home white uniforms with Zags across their chest in just a light blue outline. It's white lettering, so it's hard to read. And Ike is hard to defend. He goes with the left hand on the left side and floats it in. 40-26. Bulldogs. Is there a fly here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Davis. I saw in that. It's been bothering me. It's pretty hot in this room because of all the Gonzaga fans. There's so many bodies in here. I saw in that. To be honest, I'm a little annoyed by the net.
Free throw line, Yak puts up a jumper, misses it left. Only gets rebound. Yeah, it is very hot in here. We've been talking to the security guards. They're cold in the back because it's been kind of empty in this arena. Ike catches the ball on the block, gets swatted by Diaz-Graham, and it'll stay with Gonzaga. But going back to how hot it is here, these bodies have just made the temperature increase. Hands are sweaty. Bugs are starting to come in, but also it's because these Bulldog fans have been waiting and waiting to have their teams come to play, and it has been a loud house in here. Every time Gonzaga makes a basket, you can just feel the earth shake. Yak will check out. Amenhauser back in. Gonzaga goes to Inocente on the perimeter to inbound it. 15 to shoot for the Bulldogs. They lead at 40-26. Three-pointer for Inocente on the far side. Tap back rebound from Ike. The big fella scores another one. 16 points for Ike. Lake with the Beavers trying to get another bucket. They've already scored this half with a Yak shot, but he's on the bench now. Diaz-Graham loses control of it out towards half court. Worley dives on him, and a foul is picked up on the Bulldogs. Going against Worley. He stripped it from Diaz-Graham and then kind of dove on his legs.
Yeah, definitely dove on his legs there. And you got to be careful about the dives when it comes to loose basketballs. You have to be very careful that, you're not hurting yourself or hurting somebody else. Definitely kind of dangerous, but, man, you love to see hustle. like, when the ball's on the wood.
18 minutes left. Isaiah side top of the key. Goes straight away for Diaz-Graham. A minute 10 into the game, or into the second half. Amenhauser going against Ike. That's a tough matchup, but a left skyhook over the top of Ike. And Amenhauser's been playing very valuable minutes for Oregon State.
Yeah, he's had some great catches in the post, a couple finishes. He's done a great job and nearly caught it right there.
Turnover for the Bulldogs. Diaz-Graham takes it the other way and then has it ripped out of his hands by Worley. Diaz-Graham, he's around 7 feet tall, and he's trying to be a point guard, but when he bounces that ball, it's coming up nearly 5 or 6 feet, and Worley's right there to try to jab it away from him. Oregon State will keep possession on the sideline. They inbound it to Lake. It's 42-28, Bulldogs in front. C outside on the left wing. Dumps it inside to Amenhauser. Left-hand layup too strong. Inachinte rebound for the Bulldogs. 3 minutes in the second half, 14-point lead for Gonzaga. Ike is fouled on the block as he caught the bounce pass. He wants him to go look at it. He got hit in the face by two Beavers. C and Amenhauser were there to double team him, and he's talking with the officials. He says, immediately go review it, but I think every time a player gets hit, they think they deserve the grade of a flagrant. They won't look at it. So it's just the first team foul on the Beavers. Picked up on C. They inbound it into the backcourt for Saint-Supéry, who brings it towards the block. Bounce pass into the corner for Miller. Picked up by Diaz-Graham. Now an entry pass into Worley. His push shot won't go from the left side, and C gets the rebound, and he is defended from the front by Worley, and a blocking foul, Carl. That was pretty impressive. He had his back turned to C and was defending him, and then called for a blocking foul. Is probably the right decision by the officiating crew, but heck of an effort by Worley to try to stay in front of him. Tyon Grant Foster coming in for Worley. That was his third personal, so he will sit on the bench. And Grant Foster, the Grand Canyon transfer, who's been a role player for Gonzaga, even though he was a superstar for the Antelopes, not unfamiliar with this court here at Orleans. This is where the WAC plays, where GCU was for a long time. Now they're in the Mountain West, but when he was there, they were playing on this floor, winning championships. Inside to Amenhauser, nobody there, and he dunks it with two hands. And the Beavers cut the Gonzaga lead to 12.
Yeah, Amenhauser just being able to really finish low in the post, just doing a great job of being the guy for Oregon State right now.
Miller attacks the rim. Will fire it up off the right side of the glass. Des White comes away with it for Oregon State, and a missed shot for Gonzaga. 16 minutes to play in the second half. White into the paint, stripped by Saint-Supéry, and he hurdles over C, who fell on the ground. Alley-oop coming to Foster, and he dunks it in, and this place erupts. Tyon Grant Foster watching his own replay on the Jumbotron. He took flight, and it's a 14-point lead for the Bulldogs. Lake directing traffic for Oregon State. They've got to get something to slow that momentum after the alley-oop slam for Tyon Grant Foster. Lake still got it. 7 seconds to shoot for the Beavers. Top of the key, driving against Inachinte. Bodies him, puts up a floater, missed it. Miller rebound, Bulldogs. 15-10 left in the first half, or in the second half. Ike pump fake at the top of the key, drives inside, fouled by the smaller Josiah Lake as he got bumped off his spot. He was charging into the lane. And we'll see if Ike will have two free throws when we come back. It could have been called on the floor. Didn't see if anybody put up two fingers, but when we come back, we'll update you on what's going to happen out of this media timeout. Gonzaga leads at 44-30, 15:05 left in the second half. Winner goes to the championship game tomorrow night. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. .44.50 or 44. Gonzaga leading the Beavers of Oregon State 15:05 second half, and the winner goes to the championship game. And Josiah, the winner will play either St. Mary's or Santa Clara.
Yeah,
They're both very good teams. And we've had a ton of basketball, but right now it's not necessarily that Oregon State can't score. It's that Gonzaga's defense is just limiting all the opportunities. It seems like Oregon State's a little out of sorts on the offensive side.
Out of sorts. Excuse me, out of sorts is a perfect way to describe it. They cannot connect. Excuse me, I don't know. I had like a brain fart there. That's a perfect way to describe it. But all that time that I just took to think about it, that's how long I feel like I haven't seen an Oregon State basket. It's kind of taken forever to get them going. They're down by 14. There's flashes of hope, but it's looking dim.
EK puts in the first free throw of his trip, so he does two out of the media timeout. He was bumped on the drive by Josiah Lake, who picked up the personal. He goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line, and each player reminds me of Timmy a couple of years ago for Gonzaga, who's just super consistent and not necessarily getting a ton of NBA hype until he goes to the G League. It's third game, people are like, oh, this guy's a good player. In the corner for Diaz Graham, Beaver the shot, and he hits it. Big three-pointer, and there is no reaction from the crowd whatsoever. He hit a huge three, cuts it to 13, and it's just silent.
Because there's no crowd.
It's just all Gonzaga fans. You're right. Probably 99% Gonzaga fans. Three-pointer for San Superi on the other side, misses it. C gets the rebound. Beavers have a chance to cut it to 10 with a three-pointer. Des White outside. He had a huge game yesterday with around 5 threes for the Beavers. They go left side for Lake. The point guard for the Beavers gives it to C, picked up by San Superi. Into the corner for Diaz Graham. And he spins against Miller. Nice hook shot off the glass. Lead cut down to 11.
Gosh, I guess I need to keep on talking about how they can't score because all of a sudden they're down by 11.
EK pump fake, almost got Amenhauser to jump past him. In the corner, double team, bounce pass inside to Ichinte. Swings it out for San Superi. Three-pointer on the way. No. Long rebound out to Des White. A 2-on-2. He takes Miller to the right side. Gives it up. Diaz Graham, transition three. No. Beavers could have used that one. It's an 11-point lead still for the Bulldogs. Tyon Grant Foster pull-up three. Comes up short. Tap-back rebound won't go for Inocente. Rebound, Diaz Graham. Throws it up ahead for Josiah Lake, who catches up to the pass at midcourt. 13:30 left in the second half. Gonzaga leads it 46-35. Lake against Grant Foster on the perimeter. San Superi switches on to him. Beavers just running some motions. Lake steps in deep three. Comes up short, tap back rebound from Diaz Graham. Keeps it alive for the Beavers. Into the hands of Lake. Shuffles his feet into the short corner. And then a pass to White. 12 to shoot for the Beavers. Under 13 to play in the contest. They're still stuck at 35 points. White, step back, deep two on the way, bonks off the rim, rebound, Amenhauser put is good. Oregon State within 9. Somehow, some way, the Beavers continue to struggle from the field, and yet they're only down 9 to the Bulldogs. And the fans starting to encourage their team to go on a run. Beavers hanging in there, 46-37, 12:25 left in the second half. Grant Foster outside, jabs, gives it up to Inocente, swinging around the perimeter for Miller. The lefty goes down to the other lefty, Ike, picked up by Amenhauser. Far side cross-court pass to Grant Foster, being hand-checked by C. Drive into the middle, step through to the rim, finger roll, drops in. It was on the rim for 2 seconds. Grant Foster is just so smooth, and he's got great strides.
Unfortunate. Down by 11. They had a chance to make it single digits. And Oregon State, man, they got to pick it up.
Yeah, 11:45 to play. Beavers down 48-37. Diaz Graham steps into a three. Missed it a little bit long. Amenhauser nearly got an offensive rebound. It deflects off of his hands into Miller. Outlet pass to Grant Foster, attacking the left side. Hangs in the air, fires a shot off the top of the glass. And it was last touched by Gonzaga. It's going to be Oregon State ball out of the break. Ike wants to review it.
Yeah, he does. I feel like he wanted to review a lot. Am I losing it? I feel like he's a couple of times.
Don't let me answer that question.
Well, I feel like I'm trying to put this in a certain way. I feel like when certain players with a very, very high caliber, and I think this happens at the NBA level as well, because sometimes talk to officials, I think it's a little different than a player that's not as high as a caliber as a Graham Ike, who, you know, presumably he's had a very great career as a college basketball player. He's been very successful and, you know, will be move on. He's an NBA prospect, you know, if that's what he wants to do with his talents. So I feel like it changes that. So when he talks to officials, like they're, I need to review this. I feel like if I was playing, I don't know how much they listen to me, but it definitely changes things. So I just find that kind of interesting how much pull they kind of have sometimes with the officials and how much conversation they allow them to have.
Yeah, it's hard not to if you're an official. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
And typically, those guys, more times than not, deserve a call because they're going to get hacked and hammered. And a lot of times, guys like Ike won't get the benefit of the doubt because people assume they're just making it with, you know, little defense on them, but they might be getting hacked twice as hard as somebody else. But 11:34 left in the second half. We've reached the under 12 media timeout. Bulldogs lead at 48-37. We'll be back after this media timeout. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. Eleven minutes, 34 seconds left in second half. Winner goes to the championship game to play either Santa Clara or St. Mary's. Bulldogs lead at 48-37 over the Beavers. 4-seed Oregon State somehow pulled off a win against San Francisco last night. 78-77 was their final score. And they're competing hard with the Bulldogs, but they've only scored 37 points, and they have Just 11 and a half minutes left of basketball in their season unless they can come from behind. They're down 11. Tinkle and crew trying to come back against the Bulldogs. It's a really tough task, but they can do it. Isaiah C. left side, bounce pass inside to Yak. Going against EK, turns and is stripped by EK. A turnover by Yak. Up ahead for Grant Foster, powering to the rim. Layup is good. He is unstoppable. When he gets a full head of steam, there's nobody that can contain Grant Foster.
Yeah, he's been playing college forever. A grad student, started at Indian Hills Community College in Iowa, to Kansas, to DePaul, then the GCU for 2 seasons, and now he's finally here. Gosh, playing since I've been in middle school.
50-37, Bulldogs lead, 10:40 left in the game. Isaiah C. rounds off a screen, off balance three-pointer, puts it in. Big shot for C, makes it a 10-point game.
They needed it. They needed it.
50-40, Bulldogs lead. Braden Smith, the point guard, goes to Davis Fogel. Looking for EK down low, they get it to him. They're going against Yak, got his right arm extended against him. EK ducks into the lane, and a whistle blown immediately, and a foul. Going against Oregon State.
Number 7.
Going against Akizi for Oregon State.
Kesey's got to lock in.
Inocenti inbounds it to Grant Foster. At the top, he'll drive and is fouled by Lake, and they both collide in midair. Grant Foster not happy about that, but he also jumped into the chest of Lake, who just also jumped with him, and a foul is called on the drive. Lake will pick up the foul. That'll be the 4th team foul on Oregon State. It'll be an inbound from the sideline for the Bulldogs. They lead at 50-40 with 10-11 left. Trying to get to the championship game once again. They have never lost in Las Vegas in their first round of a tournament. This is their first appearance here this year at the semifinals. They typically get that bye to the semis and only have to play 2 games for a championship. Grant Foster will drive from the free throw line to the right side. Layup no good. He missed it too strong. Lake is limping for Oregon State. He's hobbled up the floor. Diaz Graham in the corner, down low to Yak, and he is fouled. Inocente came over on the top of him and swiped it down, but they're going to call him for grabbing him Yak's jersey and pulling himself in front and then swatting the ball away. So foul on Inocente. 50 lead for the Bulldogs still. 9:49 left, but Oregon State will have it to inbound, and Josiah Lake will go to the bench. Des White comes back in for him, and hopefully Lake is all right. He's one of the best players for Oregon State. Lake's got 8 points. C gets the inbound, starts his dribble drive, loses the ball. It pinballs out to Inocente, gives it to Grant Foster. He has trouble catching it, gathers, and swings it way over the head of Braden Smith. And Braden Smith could not catch that. Not even close to him. And a turnover for the Bulldogs. Grant Foster will check out. Worley back in. Diaz Graham will inbound it to Akizi, and that is the leading scorer for the Beavers. 10 points for Diaz Graham. He's got 8 rebounds as well. Made a couple threes. Akizi, top of the arc, drives right side, and will kick it out to C. Will extend the offense out to Des White, way beyond the arc. Gets a screen from Yak. On the roll, didn't find him. They go Ekisi, top of the key. Crossover move towards the cup. Blocked by Fogel. And he collects it and moves the other way to Braden Smith. Not to be confused with the Braden Smith at Purdue, who is having a stellar season. Braden Smith has come off the bench in most games for Gonzaga this year. EK in the middle. His floater is good. That looks like Braden Huff right there, where he just floats it over the top of the defense with his pure left hand. What a game for EK. He's got 20 points and 8 rebounds, and Oregon State calls a timeout. Bulldogs lead at 52-40. 8:45 left in the second half. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. .8:45 left in the second half. Winner goes to the championship game. Bulldogs lead the Beavers 52-40. Davis Hagen alongside Josiah Frank. Bulldogs in control of this one most of the way. Beavers have not led. Bulldogs have led for the entire 28-46. And outside of it being tied 0-0, the Beavers have struggled to shoot from the outside, but they're slowly working it down. They've got it to 12 with 8:40 left, but they're going to need to get it under single digits and then start their climb. Des White catch and shoot from the left corner to start the new play out of the timeout. He misses it short. Inocente rebound for the Bulldogs. 8.5 left, and it's a 52-40 lead for Gonzaga. Going to go back to the championship game. Smith outside, crossing over into the baseline for Davis Fogel. Reverse layup. He almost shot that straight on with like a reverse flick. Impressive shot for Davis Fogel, and he makes it 54-40. 8 minutes left, second half. Agassi bounce pass into Yak, and he misses it short. A layup missed short by a 6'11 forward, fitting for the Beavers. Ike catches it in transition. Will swing it out around the perimeter for Smith, who crosses over against White. 18 to shoot for the Zags. Plenty of time. They go back to Ike at the high post. Fires a cross-court pass to Fogel. Somebody's got to shoot for the Zags. Braden Smith catches it wide open, far side three. No. Offensive rebound for Inocente. And he will settle it back down, and Gonzaga will take more time off the clock. And possession by possession, as every 30 seconds start to tick off the clock, the Beavers run out of time. And an alley-oop to
Davis Fogel. With Braden Smith.
Can you do that, Davis?
No. I'm in this with the Zags team to alley-oop it in traffic, and then Fogel to just dunk it. Des White transition three. That's short, and another miss for Oregon State. They're reeling, and the Bulldogs are starting to pounce. Inside to Ike. He misses the dunk. He taps it back in. That's going to be basket interference if it was live, but a foul is called on Ike, so he'll have two shots. Misses the dunk, though, because of the foul, but they got to dunk the other possession with Davis Fogel just going sky high, and the alley-oop connects. Bulldogs dunking on the Beavers. It's 56-40, 6:54 left in the second half. We've got another timeout, so we'll step away. Bulldogs on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes, and they lead by 16. Under 7 to play. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse. 7 minutes left for the Beavers season and Wayne Tinkle's head coaching career in Corvallis. He was talking about it yesterday and before the game and after against San Francisco, where it's not about him, and it's been an emotional week for Oregon State as they are informing him he's not coming back next year. He's been the head coach for over a decade at Oregon State. Took the Beavers to an Elite Eight appearance and a semifinal here in the WCC, but it's been mostly Gonzaga all day long. 56-40 is the lead. Graham Ike at the free throw line for 2 shots out of the timeout. He's got 20 points.
Yeah, he does.
He's been great for the Bulldogs. His first free throw good. That's now 21 points for Ike and 8 rebounds, shooting 9 of 15 from the field. That's a lot of shots.
And I feel like it's effortless. It's one dribble moves, it's spinning to the basket, whatever it is, it's super simple, or at least it looks like that from the viewer's end.
Yeah, he does make it look really easy. He puts in the second free throw. Zags up by 18 now over Oregon State. Easy over the timeline for the Beavers. They have 6:45 left to try to make a comeback. Down low to Amenhauser, bodied by Ike. He goes left block and he picks up the dribble. He's got nowhere to go. He's stripped and a foul called. They got him on the arm, so whistle blown. And that's going to go on Ike. Just his second personal. 14th foul on the Bulldogs. Beavers will inbound right in front of their band on the left side of the floor. Lake to trigger it in to C. Pump fake in the corner, fires it up, missed it. And a foul is going to be called on Worley on a three-point shot. He looked like he barely put his arm out there. And C pump faked and then leaned in and fired up the three. He almost made it too. A very impressive shot, but he's going to have 3 free throws. Unless his foot was on the line, but he will go look at it to see if his foot was on the line. One of the referees at the monitor looking at it, rewinding the play to see if it's a 2 or a 3. Then it is 3 shots for Isaiah C. At the free throw line for his first free throws of the night. He hits the first, makes it a 17-point game.
Yeah, it could be over for Oregon State.
C hits the second. A big chance for C after that foul with the clock.
We talked about this. Time is of the essence. There's 6.5 minutes. That's not a ton of time. So if Oregon State really wants to try to not end their season, they've got to do it now.
Third free throw good for 58-43. Zag still in control of this, but Oregon State still slightly hanging around with 6:20 left. Fogle, far side. He's going to fire a 3. Connects. The freshman has been great in this semifinal. 9 points. And his first 3-pointer of the game right there. Amenhauser catches it at the high post against Ike. Backs him middle, flips it up and is fouled. The third foul on Ike. Oregon State, though, down 18. So more free throws coming for the Beavers. But a lot of work to do with not a whole lot of time. 5:58 left in the second half.
Fogle also wanted to highlight that freshman again. He's also got 6 rebounds. He's been clearing it off the glass. Really been dominating on that end.
So for Gonzaga, foul trouble with Worley with 4, Ike with 3. And the free throws, 1 of 2 for Amenhauser. He misses the second, but an offensive rebound tapped out to Ekesi for Oregon State. Lake will step in on the far side. Floater, no good. Comes up short, tap around, rebound a couple times. It's still in the air. It's still in the air, and Ike finally goes above the rest to grab it. It was tapped around 4 or 5 times before Gonzaga was finally able to control it. 61-44. Bulldogs in front, 5.5 minutes remaining in the game. Worley with 4 fouls. Kicks it out to Fogle. The freshman working against Ekesi. Step back, mid-range, jumper from the corner, missed it. C, rebound, and he's pushing the pace. 2 on 3, so he'll back it out. Didn't have numbers. Amenhauser catches it at the top of the key. Looks inside for Diaz. Graham, he catches it. A wild scoop shot goes. He was falling down the wrong way on the left block, and he scooped it up and over his head and put it in. Impressive.
Oh my gosh, what a phenomenal finish. Literally hitting the ground before the ball goes through the hoop. Yeah, man, that's the way to show will for your team.
61-46. Diaz Graham, 12 points for Oregon State. Inside pass to Fogle, and it's knocked away. And last touch by Gonzaga. So Oregon State forces a turnover. Diaz Graham trying to gather as much energy as he can. He's breathing heavy as he jogs back down the floor. Ekesi gets the inbound. 4.5 minutes left, second half. Gonzaga leads 61-46. Lake calling for the ball on the perimeter. They don't get it to him, and now they finally do at the top of the key. Pick and roll from Amenhauser. They go left side for Diaz Graham instead. He's picked up in the short corner. After 2 bounces, he picks it up. Gives it out to Ekesi. Drives inside against Fogle. Spins with the left hand. Floater is good. 61-48. Approaching 4 minutes to play in the second half of the first semifinal of the evening. Winner goes to the championship game. If Gonzaga loses, they're still going to the tournament. Oregon State, if they lose, their season's done. Ike, short corner left side. Will pop it up. Misses it. Tap, rebound, Amenhauser. Collects it for Oregon State. Under 4 to play. 61-48. Bulldogs in front. Oregon State still within striking distance if they can get some points and some stops. Gonzaga hasn't scored in the last 2.5 minutes, but Oregon State has also been slow themselves. They need a couple threes. C will round off a screen. Drives inside, loses the ball, taps it up to try to score it, and it doesn't come close, and he was fouled. That foul picked up on Braden Smith. He hit him on the arm. So that is a team 7, so it'll be a 1-1. When we come back, we've reached the under 4 media timeout. 3:29 left, second half. Bulldogs 61, Beavers 48. You're listening to KUGR, the student voice of the Blues. 3.5 minutes to play in the second half. Bulldogs 61, Beavers 48. And Gonzaga has been in control. Oregon State has not led in the entire game. Beavers shooting a low percentage in this one. Just 32% from the field, 22% from beyond the arc. But Isaiah C. back at the free throw line. It's a 1-1. 3:29 remaining in the contest. Bulldogs up 13. C, chance to cut it to 11. He nails the first. 61-49. Bulldogs still in front. C will have another free throw. 6'7", 200-pound junior forward for Oregon State. Misses the second, strong off the back of the rim. Ike gets another board. That's a double-double for Ike. 22 points, 10 rebounds after that miss. He's had a great game. 3:15 left. Ike's got it at the high post. He's double-teamed by Amenhauser and Diaz-Graham. He swirls past him. And Ike gets fouled by Amenhauser.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Right now, but just want to mention that fouls right now, Gonzaga at 7, Oregon State at 6. We should be getting a lot more free throws, especially if Oregon State fouls again.
Inbound from Inocente way back to Braden Smith. And yeah, good point from Josiah that free throws could be the name of the game down the stretch. Worley backdoor cut, catches the pass and misses the layup. Diaz-Graham collects and outlets it to C. Oregon State less than 3 minutes to play, but they've hung in there against 12 with 2:45 remaining. Ekesi in the right corner. Swings it out to Diaz-Graham. Behind the back dribble. The big 6'11 forward. C, straight away, three-pointer, no. EK's 11th rebound. 2.5 minutes left. Bulldog fans starting to feel it. Two and counting. 10 to shoot for Gonzaga. Braden Smith operating with the ball. A blocking foul called on Ekesi. And once again, Josiah right on the money. Free throws coming up. It's a 1-and-1. It'll be 61-49. Gonzaga in front. Des White getting set to come into the game.
Des White returns for the Beavers.
He will come in for Ekesi, who was trying to avoid eye contact. He didn't want to come out of the game. He thought maybe if he just put his hands on his knees and didn't move, he wouldn't notice him, but he has to come out.
He's not a statue.
Yeah. Braden Smith to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Hits the front of the rim, drops in for Smith. He's had a good game for Gonzaga. He's been operating the offense off the bench. 6 points, 3 assists, shooting 50% from the field. Another free throw for Smith. Knocks it down. 63-49. Beavers need to push quickly. They've got 2:10 remaining. Lake bounce pass to Diaz-Graham, short corner on the far side. Inside the three-point arc, he trucks over Worley. It's an offensive foul on Diaz-Graham. He lowered the shoulder. Worley went to the deck. Another turnover for Oregon State and their 8th team foul, but it won't be free throws. It's an offensive foul. Gonzaga will get the ball back, and the Beavers have competed hard for sure, but the Zags just better today. Nearly impossible to beat at Orleans Arena. Ike gets the pass at the high post, steps in. Mid-range floater is good. He is a legit NBA prospect, as everybody knows, but he's proving it every single game here in March, year after year. 65-49, Bulldogs with the new lead. Up to 16. Josiah Lake crossing over beyond the arc. Oregon State has had a tough day offensively. Deep three from Lake, no good. Gets his own rebound. Bounce pass to Amenhauser. He lays it in on the right block. Minute 18 left and a timeout called by Tink. Could be his final act as a head coach of the Oregon State Beavers, calling this timeout. 65-51 the score with a minute 18 left. Beavers just finally eclipse the half-century mark with a minute 18 left. And Josiah, the offense has been an issue for Oregon State all year. They're last in the conference, but an impressive showing today against the Gonzaga Bulldogs, keeping it within 20 while only scoring 50.
Yeah, keeping it within 20, but man, Gonzaga is just a powerhouse. It's just the engine that could and always keeps on pushing and it never stops. It's like a locomotive. It was just too much for the Beavers. They just could not get it done.
65-51. Bulldogs in front. They will more than likely move on to the championship game tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We'll have that coverage here on KUGR. They will either play the 2-seed St. Mary's or the 3-seed Santa Clara. Broncos, the dark horse in the tournament, but St. Mary's split the season series against Gonzaga to share a regular season title with the Bulldogs. I believe that would be the 17th time that the Gales and Bulldogs would meet in the WCC championship game, and it would be the last time, at least for now, in the WCC. Who knows? Conference realignment, nobody would really thought that the Pac-12 would just go away, but here we are where both these teams will be joining the new Pac-12. This is the last tournament for Gonzaga in the WCC for the foreseeable future. So a minute 10 left to go. They're up by 14. San Superi will bring it over half court to Davis Fogel, who's been phenomenal tonight. Everybody for the Bulldogs having a good game.
1 minute.
1 minute left. Oregon State not fouling. They're down 14. Braden Smith at half court with 8 to shoot. Drives inside, dumps it off to Fogel between his legs and out of bounds. Turnover for the Bulldogs. 52.7 left. Worley and Inachinte coming back in. Fogel will come in, and Ike will go out, and here comes, more than likely, a nice round of applause for Ike. Yeah, Ike was an absolute beast today. 24 points, 11 rebounds. Almost scored half the amount of the Beavers total. They've got 51 points at this point.
Yeah, he definitely deserves, a standing ovation. He always gets it done, and Gonzaga always gets it done. Like we mentioned before, they had never lost their first night here in Orleans Arena, and depending on how the next game goes, we could have another pretty normal championship between St. Mary's and either Santa Clara or St. Mary's, with Gonzaga always kind of in the championship series. And with Gonzaga leaving to the Pac-12, that rivalry between them and St. Mary's, that's not going to be a thing anymore, at least not how it was every single year in conference and also here in Las Vegas. So it's going to change things around. So we'll see how the next game plays out. But this one is all she wrote.
San Superi fouled Yak Yak during that time, and he hit 2 free throws, so it's 65-53. That's more than likely going to be the final score. Worley dribbling it out into the corner. San Superi fires the 3, misses it. C gets the rebound, looking to push with 15 seconds to go. Goes to Josiah Lake. Out to Diaz-Graham. Inside to Yak Yak with 7 seconds. Back out Diaz-Graham, 3-pointer in the corner. He rolls it in, and he makes it a 9-point game. And that's a good shot for Diaz-Graham. This really was kind of a 9 to 10-point game, but that'll do it. Gonzaga wins it 65-56, the final score. They move on to the championship game. Oregon State's run comes to an end. They beat San Francisco last night. They couldn't take down the 1-seed Gonzaga Bulldogs. They gave a heck of an effort, though, losing by 9. And that is it for Wayne Tinkle as the head coach of the Oregon State Beavers. He shakes hands with Mark Few over a decade as the head coach, and his run comes to an end here for the Beavers. But Gonzaga moving on to the championship game. They win it 65-56, the final score. We'll have one more game during the semifinal night. Santa Clara taking on St. Mary's. That game coming around 8:30. We'll have the call here on KUGR. And for Josiah Frank, I'm Davis Hagen saying so long for now. We'll see you in about half an hour. 65-56, the final score. Bulldogs win it.